Hello everyone, my name is Raven, but you probably know me from my YouTube channel name of Combat Ineffective. If you're coming here from a Grim Reapers video, then you probably just watched one of the war games in which I did the research for Cap. This video is a behind the scenes look at what goes into the research for the GR wargame simulations, or at least the ones that I provide the research and background for. This specific wargame has not been released as of recording this, but you probably just watched it, so I do hope you enjoyed it. If you followed the link to this video, then please hit that like and subscribe button and check out my own content on this channel. Please put a response in the comments saying if you got here from a Grim Reapers video. Now on with the video. Alright everybody, so we are going to get started here, and I had music that was supposed to go, but that must be a bad clip, and I think it is. So, alright, we've got this going now, and I'm hoping this sounds right. I'm trying to get the levels on this balanced, and looks like it's working there. So, alright. Hopefully this isn't too loud. The problem is I can't exactly tell how loud it is. So I gotta lower, I think I'm gonna lower that down a bit. So we're first gonna be looking at this one. What we're actually doing is it's an attack on Norfolk by a combined Chinese and Russian fleet. Now I know we just did the, Russians attack the East Coast thing not too long back. Basically the target was a Target in Boston, and by a Target in Boston I literally mean the store. I thought that was the funniest thing in the world for me to put that in as the quote-unquote Target, and it seemed like most of the pilots that were there for Grim Reapers, along with a lot of the people in the comments, seemed to like that, so that's why I did that. So today we're going to be doing a little bit of this. Now, I already know a little bit about Norfolk and a little bit about where some of this stuff is going to be going to. So I'm going to have a little bit of a heads up on it. But we're going to zoom out first from, obviously, you can kind of see where I live, or at least, what area of the country I live in. So anyway, this is Norfolk, and specifically the naval base. Now, when we're looking at this, there's a lot of stuff that we can look at as the target, but honestly, I'm not really focused on this. I know what's here, and you can actually easily look that up. If you just look up Norfolk and the naval station here, you'll find out that they've got up to four, there are 4 carrier task groups that are headquartered out of here. You have 4 destroyer squadrons that are here. So you have a lot, and there's also 1 attack submarine squadron that is right here. There's a lot. What I do know is that this is not the main air station that we're going to have to be working with over at Naval Station Norfolk. Chambers Field basically only has 1 real thing that could be useful in this, and that is going to be these E-2 Hawkeyes. Everything else doesn't really matter, so we're not even going to be focusing on them. The closest air station is going to be right here, and that is not it. It is Naval Air Station Oceana right here, and as I zoom in a little bit, you'll be able to see exactly what this is. We've got some Bogs here, we've got some F-18s. Now, it's hard to tell which type these are, but these are, honestly, those are actually all looking like the Super Hornets, just judging on the size, shape, everything like that. You can see some OV-22s right there, so they got some Ospreys here. You've got a P-3 right there. Then you've got these F-18s. Looks like that looks like a 737. Yeah, that's a passenger terminal. So, dignitaries, stuff like that, they can fly directly in. Also, it's probably how they get other pilots in to this area, depending on where they're at. They might be able to fly directly in. And as you can see, there's a lot more F-18s right here. So we've got some very interesting stuff right here, and this is going to be the #1 thing that's going to defend this area. It's going to be Naval Air Station Oceana. So, we already know one of them. The next one is going to be up here, and that is going to be Langley. So we're going to be looking for Langley. That's not it. I think it's just a little bit further north. Is that it? Nope, that's Richmond. There it is. Langley Air Force Base. So, Langley is known to have F-22s. We already know it has the F-22s there because when they shot down the balloon over North Carolina, they came from here. They came out of Langley using those AIM-9Xs. Matter of fact, I think that is the first air-to-air kill for the AIM-9X. I know it's the first one for the F-22, which now has 2 balloon kills as of now. Although the AIM-9X now has, I believe, 3 of them, because the third one that was shot down over Canada near Lake Huron, that was also an AIM-9X, but that was using an F-16. So the AIM-9X does have at least 3 confirmed kills. Now, it's going to be tough here to tell how many F-22s are actually here, because we have all of these covered shelters. But you can also tell that there's at least one of them right here because that says 71st Fighter Squadron. I'm not even looking anything up yet, but I can tell that they're there. That's 27th Fighter Squadron Air Maintenance Unit. And that's just, I mean, I haven't even looked anything up yet. We already know that there's at least one there. 192nd Wing of the Virginia Air National Guard is also here. And this is just simple research that anyone can do without doing much. And those are interesting. Those look like F-5 Tigers. That's got to be like an aggressor squadron or a training squadron right here. So we're not even worried about them. They won't take part in any of the combat. I mean, if they did, it would be kind of weird. That's actually fuel, by the way. That's what that looks like. Those all look like fuel trucks. Those look like boats, to be honest. Okay, so we now know that they've got there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in, and I'm going to open up another window here. Another tab. And I like doing my own research, and I like to bring this out. So we're going to do one. Just a quick blank one. Because I love researching where this stuff is and how it's going to work. So we're just going to start doing this. And Norfolk, Chinese, Russian attack. And we're going to turn this to a bullet list. So first we have Naval Air Station Oceana. And we already know they're FA-18s. Those are Super Hornets. So 18s. And those are either E's or F models. Don't know how many just yet, but we do know that they are there. Next, we've got over at Langley Air Base. Not Langley. Langley Air Force Base. We have F-22s. Again, unknown how many squadrons they've got there just yet, but I'm assuming they have at least 2, if not 3, of the F-22s. And each of these squadrons is going to be about 18 to 24 aircraft. That's just a easy round number, and more than likely I'm going to skew it to the 18 on each one of them, simply because we're probably not going to have, even if it was a full squadron of all 24, you're probably not going to be able to have every single one of them ready for flight at any one time. Some could be down for maintenance, some could be used for parts, any number of different things. Heck, the pilots could be sick. You can't expect every single one of them to be ready when you're not in a wartime situation. So we're already going to do that. Alright, so what is going to be next out of that? Well, we already know we've got 2 of them. These are going to be the closest. Now, from our previous videos, somebody had said that we have to look for the Marines, the Marine Corps Air Station that's nearby. And they were saying at Camp Lejeune. Well, Camp Lejeune is actually... I've got to find Jacksonville. There it is, Jacksonville. This is Jacksonville, North Carolina. And when we zoom in, you'll be able to find it. Lejeune is actually out here. So we've got something right here. And we do have Marine Corps Exchange New River Air Station. So what is at New River? Well, we're going to zoom in. And those are rotary wing assets right there. Every single one is rotary wing. Those are Ospreys. Those are CH-53s or whatever the newest version of that is. Looks like those are Cobras, I think. Cobras and Hueys. Okay, the 2-blade is going to be a Cobra. The 4-blade are going to be the Hueys. So UH-1s, AH-1s. But still nothing that's going to really help us unless they're going to be strapping a bunch of Sidewinders onto the AH-1s. I mean, they could do it, but I doubt they will. And we've got VM-263 and 365, and those are Ospreys again. So that is not going to be what we're looking for. And we've got Camp Double Dog over here. Now, from my own research, I know if I zoom out a little bit, there is one not too far away. In fact, we can see it. It's right here. MCAS Cherry Point. So let's zoom in on Cherry Point, see what they have here. And immediately I'm already starting to see what I'm wanting to look for, which are these. These are the aircraft shelters. Rotary wing doesn't use those. Mainly, I mean, for a lot of reasons. The main reason is, well, you know, those rotor blades are pretty large and you don't want to have something above them. Now, we do see right here, these are some fixed wings, but these are C-130s of various types. Probably cargo. So not what we're looking for, but I want to look around. We already know where the first set of fixed wings are. So we're going to make sure we put those down. I'm going to do that right now. MCAS Cherry Point. So there, we've got them. We don't know what aircraft, so we're going to have to go back to the map here and take a look. Now, if you're wondering, am I looking these up based on Wikipedia? No, this is based on knowledge of where I know certain things are. This has nothing to do with Wikipedia, although I use Wikipedia to help finalize some of this stuff, to get the exact numbers that I'm trying to look for and what could possibly be there. But this one, I can already tell based on what I'm looking at. That right there is one of them, and so is that. Those are not F-18s. Those are not F-16s. Those aren't F-14s. Those aren't even the F-35. That is something very, very specific to the Marine Corps, which they still are flying these apparently. These are AV-8B Harriers. And judging by the fact that they're also stationed right next to these, in fact they have a few of them out, these are probably all AV-8Bs. So this is Harrier Nation right here. With the exception of that. That's not a Harrier. That's more than likely an EA-6B Prowler right there. It could be an A-6 Intruder, but I think they've retired all of the Intruders and they're now Prowlers if any of them are left. So, judging on that, we already know that these are going to be AV-8B, but we just don't know how many yet. So that's going to be next. Alright. Now, just with those three alone, we probably have more aircraft than we need for this. And the reason I know that is based on the actual carriers that would probably be brought over. Even if all four of them came, the most they would probably be able to bring over is about 120 aircraft total. That's if they get all of them off their decks and fly all of them. So you're talking maybe 120. I have a feeling just with this and what's at Langley and what's at Oceana, this is probably going to be more than enough. But that wouldn't be how the Grim Reapers do this. We're going to go best and worst case scenarios, so we now have that one. Now, from there, we have Fayetteville, which I don't know if Fort Bragg has any fighters there, but I'm gonna look into it. It's right here. This is Pope Field. I'm gonna see if they have any, combat squadrons aside from just having C-130s and C-17s. They may actually have a detachment that's here. Those certainly aren't. Those are C-130s. Those are C-17s or C-5s. Look like C-5s judging by this, though. Really horrible imagery on it, but I'll take it. And I'm not seeing any air shelters for anything for like fixed wing aircraft. So Pope Air Force Base is out. Surprisingly, it is very hard to find where a lot of air bases are just based off the imagery. It's actually very difficult. Now, if we go down here, I'm actually looking for something specific, and there's one of them. Shaw Air Force Base. The reason I know about that one is simply because the unit that I was from, my last unit that I was active with, they moved to Shaw Air Force Base. So I knew they were going there, so I can look into it. Oh, we're starting to see something already. Those are aircraft shelters just like before, and quite a few of them. Let's see if we can find out what these are. Those definitely are aircraft for fixed wing. And I think I might have just found what they are right here. Those are F-16s. Alright, so we've got F-16s here for sure. You don't just have them out. Those are some probably either waiting to be on alert or something like that. So we're going to go into this, and we're going to put in Shaw Air Force Base, and those are going to be F-16s. Okay. We've already got 4 of them now. So we're going to zoom out a little bit. So that gives us something. We've already got 4 air bases here, but we're always when we do this stuff, it's to try and do more. Just looking around, because Shaw Air Force Base, I'd heard something that there was another one nearby. And I'm trying to look for another airbase nearby. And I can't see it just yet, but I do believe that there's one out in this area. Anyway, I will be right back. We're going to be pausing this for a moment. Alright, I am back now. Although you probably didn't even know I left. So we are back and trying to do some of this research. And the last one we just had was Shaw Air Force Base with the F-16. So we now have 4 of the different air bases in the south. Actually, all around it. Right now it's just in the south because I know that's where a lot of these are going to be coming from. We've done stuff from the north, and I don't know if they'd be able to make it. That's something interesting. Let's take a look at what this is. Don't think it's in... We just found something, everybody. This is a National Guard station. This is an Air National Guard station called McIntyre. And we just found it right here. It's not too far away from Shaw Air Force Base. And those clearly are aircraft shelters. Now, what is here? Let's see if we can find out without having to look anything up just yet. Clearly, they want people to know that they are here, because that's a bunch of different museum pieces right there. Now, one thing I do know about the South, especially when they have an Air Force base, they love to put out something to show that they are indeed active in something. And so that's what those museum pieces are. They want everyone to know they're Air Force here. I mean, despite the fact that this is a very small field. So there's something here. And those definitely do look like... oh, those are Chinooks sitting here. But those definitely are aircraft shelters for something. Now, I do know that they have A-10s that are around the South, so those could be for A-10s? Not quite sure just yet. I'll have to look that up, but it's an Air National Guard unit, so we're going to put that down right now, especially with how close that is to Shaw. It needs to be put in. So, this is McEntire Air National Guard base. Okay, so we've got them. Let's go back to the map, and we're going to zoom out. We'll look up Shaw Air Force Base a little bit later. Not Shaw, McEntire a little bit later, but I wanted to find it at least. So I knew it was out there, I just didn't know exactly where. All right, now that we've got that, we're going to go back north, and so there's Greensboro, there's Raleigh. We already looked up Jacksonville. I wonder if there's any Air Force that are in North Carolina aside from that. Something tells me yes, and we have to find out where. That looks like one right there, out of Goldsboro. Seymour Johnson Air Force Base, and what have we got? Well, we definitely have some aircraft shelters right there. We have some big fixed wings right there, but those are... I'm thinking these are air refuelers. Yep, those are in-air refueling aircraft. It looked like KC-135s, judging by it. 4-engine right there. So more than likely these are, yep, those are in-air refueling aircraft. But we already can tell something about these. Those are F-15s right there. Alright, so we have at least some F-15s. I'm going to zoom in over here. Those are definitely F-15s. Every single row is an F-15 on that. You get an F-15, and you get an F-15, and everybody gets an F-15. So this is definitely all F-15s. We'll be able to have to find out what version of these. These could be the A's, B's, the C's or D's, or these could be the Strike Eagles. So I'm not entirely sure based on this, but we at least know one thing about them. They're F-15s. So we've got a lot of F-15s here. That's a large amount of them. I mean, if I were to count all of the aircraft shelters here, that's a good deal of them. So let's put that down. This is Seymour. Right? Is that what I said this was, Seymour? Seymour Johnson Air Force Base. And that is F-15s. I'm just going to put down generic F-15 simply because I don't know which type yet. And that does play a role in this because if it's the E's, those are usually the Strike Eagles, and those are going to be two-seaters. I don't know how good they are with air-to-air stuff, but I'm assuming they're going to be just as good as the C's and D's will be, but they just have a back-seater, which probably could help them with the electronic warfare and the radar and the radio, so that there's a lot of stuff that they can do with that. So, alright, we now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm going to have a little sip of my coffee here. So, if you like if you like what I'm doing right here, if you like the stream, take a look at that left corner and you can see that we have the link to our coffee. So if you want to support the channel, how about hopping over there and giving me a cup of coffee? Alright, let's get back to this. So we'll have to look into them, and we'll have to look into McEntire to find out whether or not what they actually have on both. Alright. So those are the ones that I know of that are in the south. Now, I'm going to have to look into them a little bit more, but those are probably going to be the farthest away you're going to want anything. Although I do believe that there's a Marine Corps air station that's a little bit further south. So let's take a look here. Marine Corps air stations. There's Cherry Point, and then there's Marine Corps Air Station, Jacksonville, that's New River. There's this one, Marine Corps Air Station, Beaufort. Let's take a look at what that has. Well, that looks like an F-18 right there. And judging by the looks of that one, that's a Super Hornet. So let's see what they've got. Alright. Let's take a look. It's starting to zoom in. And those indeed are Bogs. We've got F-18s. Looks like E and F models again. I'm not seeing just regular Hornets. These look like the Supers. So we're going to put this one in. Oh, what are those? Raytheon's doing something out there. I don't want to zoom in too much on that. I mean, I probably could, but I don't want to do it too long. So we've got... I don't know, we can see that there's quite a few F-18s that are here, so let's just put that in. That is MCAS Beaufort. And that is FA-18s, EFs. I'm pretty sure they are. I'll double check on those. I know the Marines were weird with the FA-18s because the ones that were out in San Diego were all the older non-super. They were just the regular FA-18s. And that was because they were waiting on something to replace the AV-8Bs, and they wanted to get more of the F-35Bs, although they do have the F-35C there because a lot of the Marines are essentially the main air wings on a lot of the carriers. Most people don't know that they have a very large air contingent that are FA-18s that are pretty much the carrier air wings for them. So we've got now 7 of them. All right. I'm gonna have to look this up and see how far out this is. I don't know if I want to go more than, say, 400 miles away. That's gonna be kind of hard. So, I mean, even if you're doing like 600 knots, you've got to have the range to get there. That's going to be the hardest part. So, I mean, let's take a look. Let's take a look at this. F-16 range with drop tanks. Ferry range with drop tanks. That's ferry range, though. That's not combat range. Combat range, 547 kilometers for an F-16. Okay, let's take a look at FA-18 with external fuel tanks. Fleet has a range of about 500 miles according to that, and that's Popular Mechanics saying that one. So, looks like the original ones, wow, couldn't really go that far. Let's see. And that's whether or not they have the conformal fuel tanks. How far out of tank of fuel? Just over 500 miles. So as you're seeing, you've got to be careful with how far out these are going to be, because if it's more than 500 miles, they can't even reach it. And I know some people are going to go, well, you just showed us that there are KC-135s right there. Yeah, how long does it take to fuel up each one of these aircraft to get on out there? Is there going to be a fight left? They're going to have to get armed, get airborne, get to the tanker, unhook from that, and then get to the fight. Is the fight still going to be going on? Or are they coming into it very late at that point? And we already know there's probably going to be more of these than the Chinese or the Russians will be able to bring over. So will they be able to be in the fight, or is the fight already over at that point? So that's a key thing that we got to look at. And let's take a look, just for sakes of it. F-15 fuel range with extended fuel tanks. Go on a tank of gas. They can go about 590 miles based on this. And this is coming from Quora, but obviously that's probably not correct. That's probably not right. I really don't want to look up just Wikipedia just yet. Some of that stuff is kind of sketchy at best. But this one's someone put this in. I don't know who put this in. Looks like those are the A's and C's. And let's see if I'm trying to find the range. Okay, they're showing combat radius about 790 miles, but I don't know who this is. Wow. Looks like it's got a lot of stuff. I don't know who compiled all this. These are the C and D models, so looks like they're saying all of them have about the same range. I doubt that. I kind of doubt that a lot. Mainly because the E and F-15s, the Strike Eagles, the E's, there's an extra seater in the back. So I don't know how true that is. I gotta stop saying but that gives you an idea on that. And the F-22s and the F-18s that are right there at Langley and Oceana aren't gonna take long. Those AV-8Bs, that's gonna be a different story altogether. AV-8B. Combat range. 550, about 300 miles. So if it is more than 300 miles for those AV-8Ps, they can't even make it to this. So we're going to have to look that one up. So we already know where some of this stuff is. Let's start looking at the distances of these different shots, right? And all we're going to do is we're going to get it from Norfolk. More than likely, the fight is going to take place out here, but I want to give at least a distance of Norfolk, so that gives you an idea of where this is going to be at. Marine Corps Air Station out here, that's going to be a distance. So measure distance. It's about just about 400 miles to Norfolk. From there, we know Shaw is up here. And so is Seymour, not Seymour, McIntyre. Those are about 300. Jacksonville, this is where the AV-8Bs are. So about 155 miles. I'm looking for Goldsboro, because that is where the other one is. That's where Seymour Johnson is at Goldsboro. Right here. So we're going to move that up from there to here. We've got about 139 miles, so that one definitely is in. The AV-8Bs are going to be, it's going to be tight, but they can make it. It looks like they have enough to make it almost there and back. Just about, that's about it. Combat range. So we've got them. I'm not worried about these two. They'll have all the flying time in the world. So based on those, I don't know if the F-18s down here will be able to make it in. The ones here they're going to have a hard time making it there, but they might be able to. They've got about 100-mile difference on that. So we'll see how that plays out. Looks like these two are definitely, you can see right there, these two are definitely going to be in, and these two. So we got to take a look at that. All right, now we're going to start taking a look at U.S. Air Force bases. Locations, U.S. Air Force. List of U.S. Air Force installations. This actually is fairly accurate. So we're going to go with active duty first. You can see all the different ones. So we're going to be basically looking for the ones over here. So we already know Pope is out. We already know Seymour Johnson is in. We already know Langley is in. Joint Base Charleston is... We'll have to take a look at that one. But Charleston is a distance out. If Shaw is right here, and we have North Air Force Auxiliary. Well, that's auxiliary, so we can't look at that just yet. We know Shaw is in. Moody is out. Robbins is definitely out. Robbins does C5s. That's pretty much all they have. And these are going to be way too far away for those to work. Joint Base McGuire, we're going to have to look to see if that one's in range. But now we're going to switch over to Air National Guard. Here's McIntyre. That is an F-16. So, we now know what's at McIntyre. Those are F-16s. Let's put that in. F-16s. Don't know which types, but they are there. All right. New London. What is this one? It says Air National Guard. Let's take a look. I'm going to look up New London. North Carolina. Let's take a look here. Zoom out a bit. Uncle Stevie's Homemade Treats for Dogs is there, so if anyone's in that area looking for it, you've got Uncle Stevie's Treats for Dogs that are made there. So what do we have? Doesn't look like a whole lot of anything. They say there's Air National Guard here, and I can clearly see that this is where they would be at. But doesn't look like they have any aircraft. Because I'm not seeing any aircraft shelters for it. It's not over here, so with how small this is, I'm amazed they have anything here. It could just be Civil Air Patrol that's doing stuff here. But I am not seeing anything major for the Air Force here. Certainly not any aircraft. Because where they would be somewhere around here, and I'm just not seeing it. So this could just be Air National Guard uses it as a landing spot for training, stuff like that. But yeah, that one looks like that's out. All right, let's go back. Charlotte. Let's take a look at Charlotte. That looks like it was the airport, which it is. I've actually driven past this one, but I don't know if they have Air National Guard. Looks like they might. Oh, that's American Airlines. Amazon Prime. There they are, and that is all cargo aircraft. Those are all C-17s by the look of it, too. So that's cargo. They don't have any fixed wings there. Well, any combat aircraft, that is. Okay. Got that now. We're going to take a look at this a little bit. So, and just by looking, we can also tell what some of these are. So we'll definitely have to go to Atlantic City. That has a fighter wing, F-16s. We got to see the distance on that one. Maine's definitely out. This one might be out too. I'm pretty sure that's a distance out. Considering how far the F-22s had to go on the last mission, I'm going to assume that this one's going to be a distance too. So we're going to take that one out. Definitely not Michigan, not Tennessee. That's just too far away. No to Pennsylvania. Connecticut, that's airlift, so no. Brunswick, Georgia, that's comms, so that's not it. Airlift wing, not it. Okay, Buckley, that's Colorado. Vermont, Washington, no, no, no. Looking, here is Charlotte Air National Guard Base. That one we just looked at is airlift, so we know that one's out. Texas, Iowa, Georgia, that's Dobbins, that's C-130s. So that one's out. Crestview, Florida's just too far. Minnesota, New York, Arkansas, all too far. Texas, North Carolina, nope, nope, nope. We are looking through all of these. West Beach, nope, those are Combat Kings. Those are C-130s and Pave Hawks. That's not going to be it. We're still looking through, and we will switch back over to active duty shortly, but I want to see if there's any more of these that will be in range that will be used. Nope on this one. Pennsylvania Special Forces, nope, that's C-130s. Homestead, Florida, that's down near Miami, that's still too far. Indiana, Jacksonville, F-15Cs. They might be able to make it, but I think I mean, the ones that were at Beaufort, they're going to be a little bit too far out. This is, I think those are going to be too far out to be useful. So we are not going to put Jacksonville Air National Guard Base, despite the fact that they have this there, and they're just not going to be useful, I don't think. And still looking. Air National Guard has a lot. So here's McIntyre, and there. We're seeing it. There's a fighter wing that's there, F-16s. So we now have confirmation that they are F-16s there. No, I've actually seen this one, so I do know that there are C-17s there. Montgomery's way too far out, even though they have F-16s, and it looks like they're going to get the F-35. They're just too far away. Delaware Airlift Wing, no. New London Air National Guard Base, I think that was the one that we just looked up. And Communications Squadron, Air Support Operations, so definitely not. They just support them. Louisiana's out. New York is out. Yeah, that's Air National Guard. That's KC-135, so it's refuelers. We're still looking. Combat Communications, Intel, Combat Communications, refueling, airlift. We have a lot of airlift wings. That's Oregon, Rhode Island, Nevada, Ohio, Utah. No. Savannah Air National Guard. Nope. So, as you can see, I am very thorough with this, trying to look through them. Maine Air National Guard, too far away. Ohio, New York. That's it. C-130s. Anything that I think could be relatively close enough to using this, I'm going to go for. But so far, it's not happening. Warfield Air National Guard, that's in Maryland, but they have A-10s, so we are not going to be using those. I'm not going to send A-10s into a air superiority fight. So that's all of them. Let's go back to the active duty boys. All right. Oklahoma, D.C., that's Joint Base Anacostia. Operate the 11th Wing provides that. So we're going to have to look at that. Actually, Anacostia Bowling has no fixed wings, so I know that. However, Joint Base Andrews definitely has it. They're even saying it. F-16s right here. So we're going to put them in. Joint Base Andrews. F-16s. There's going to be a lot of F-16s in this fight. We have 8 different places that they can come from right now. That's a lot. Okay, so there might be in. No. Nope, not them. Columbus, too far out, and they don't have anything anyway. Nope. Dover Air Force Base, C-5s. Texas, California, Florida. Eglin's way too far away. I've actually measured that before, and it's about 700 miles, so that's going to be completely out. It doesn't matter what they have over there. They're just not going to be able to make it, not in time. So why even put them into the fight? They can be used for a different one if we ever do it. Obviously, me, no. Massachusetts, Hanscom, that's electronic systems, so that's not it. Florida, Mississippi, Oklahoma, Virginia, we've already got Langley, so we know that's there. And they've got two fighter wings that are there that fly the F-22. That's a lot of them. That's a lot of F-22s. We're going to have to kind of find out how many squadrons might be there. Joint Base McGuire, Dix, Lakehurst. Does that have anything? We're going to have to look that one up. So let's take a look. Don't think they have anything for that. So these are the organizations, and judging by it, no. Nothing has a fixed-wing combat aircraft. And that is the key thing. Fixed-wing and combat. And then we'll go to the fighters. And on this one, nope, A-10s, so those are out. That's Moody in Georgia. Might have been close enough, but A-10s definitely not. And that is C-17, so not it. Patrick Space Force Base. Nope. Pensacola's too far away. Eglin's too far away, so that one's further out, and those are just trainers anyway. Pope Air Force Base, we've looked at that one, so we know that's a no. Warner Robins, I know it's just these. Support depot for the F-15. And they operate the J-Stars. So that might be a backup base, and more than likely Cap is just going to put in an E3 as the AWACS. Scott Air Force Base. Seymour Johnson, 4th Fighter Wing, and the 414th Fighter Group operate F-15Es, so we've got them in. Air Combat Command, Shaw, we've got them. Texas, Oklahoma, Nevada, no. Tyndall is about, it's not too far away from Eglin, so it's about the same area. We're still looking, and that is all of the main ones for that. So the only one we're missing is Atlantic City right here. And the only reason I was looking that one up is because of we used it last time. So I got to find out how far Atlantic City is. It's about the same distance as that. So let's take a look. All right, so here's Atlantic City. And that's the airbase. And if you want proof, I'll zoom in on it just so you can see it. And you can actually see the aircraft shelters right there. And that looks like an F-16 right there. Yes, so we have proof that they're there and proof of distance. 203.97 miles. So that is Atlantic City, but they call that something different. Let's see, what was that? Atlantic City Air National Guard Base right there. Yeah, Atlantic City. We'll just put that in as F-16s. Okay. So, I am thinking they're screwed when they come over. But the only one that I'm still curious on is the ones in Beaufort, because I don't know if they're going to be useful. All of the rest of these are within range, but I don't know what Beaufort is with those F-18s. Let me take a look at how far out they are. Besides, there's plenty of bogs that are going to be in on this one. It's down here. So, let's see. Where is it? Where is it? Just saw it. Right here. $392 miles. I mean, if you look at it, we've already got 8. And all of these are all closer. So, I know all of you are going to be asking for it in the comments, but here's what I'm going to say. We already have FA-18s right here. These right here probably aren't going to make that much of a difference in the battle. So I am going to take them out. Okay, I know there's some people that are going to be going, no, why did you take out the Navy? And I didn't. I have the two of the top ones right here are Navy. The rest are just Air Force because that's where they're at. So we've got them. I mean, we've got Navy assets, we've got Marine Corps assets, we've got Air Force assets. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different aircraft types just on this side, just on the U.S. side for this. Okay, so we're going to change the name of this, and U.S. Navy and Air Force and Navy bases. And Navy air stations. Aircraft type. Okay, so we've got that. Now I'm going to start looking through these with these 8, and we're going to find out what they kind of have in each one of these. So I'm going to go back. So locations. Air Force bases within the U.S. What is this? I don't know what this is, so I'm going to take a look at it. Where can I serve as an Air Force dentist? Oh, well, this works. So if you ever wanted to know where you can serve as an Air Force dentist, just screenshot that off of my video here and you'll be able to do it. So I'm going to look up something different. Squadrons. List of U.S. Air Force, list of active Air Force squadrons. So we're going to take a look, and I'm just going to look for the ones that we need. So that's McGuire, Travis, So we're just going to look for the ones that we need to try and see how many we got. Okay, so Seymour Johnson. Those are KC-46s they're supposed to have there. That's the air refuelers. Those are brand new, by the way, the KC-46. And so we're all in the air refuelers. Out here, let's Tinker has most of those, but they can go anywhere. E4, that's a new one. Oh, okay. That's what that is. So we need the fighters. We're still not at them. Nope. Still not there. They have E-18s? Oh, okay. Never mind. So they're co-located with the Navy there. Got it. Okay. So I didn't know that. I actually did not know if any of the E-18s were operated by the Air Force. Apparently, they might be. Okay. Now we're looking into this. So, Utah, New Mexico, no. We need to look for Langley. Okay, so there's one F-22. And Maryland, that has one F-16. Shaw has one F-16. So we have one on each of those. Shaw, 3 F-16. So we're up to 3 F-16 squadrons there. Langley, we've got a second on the F-22s. Andrews has F-16s. That's 2 of those. So I'm looking to see if there's another Langley. F-22s right there. There's another one. And Shaw. Okay, so we're going to have to do a different way to count this. So Langley, F-22. So we're just going to do it this way. Langley, I. Yes, I am absolutely going to do it this way. And, okay. Andrews has 1, Shaw 1. I, Shaw, I. Okay, go back. Shaw, we've got 2 right there, 2 more. Okay. Langley, another F-22. We're up to 2 squadrons there. Atlantic City, we got 1. Okay, got it. Joint Base Andrews, we've got 1 right there. Langley, we have F-22s. We have another one. So that's 3 we've got there. Morris, McIntyre, we've got 1 right there. All right. We are still going strong. Atlantic City, F-16s, we got 1 right there, and we have Seymour Johnson with 1 as well. That's the second one there. Seymour Johnson's got 1. Burlington's too far out. McIntyre right there. We've got another one right there. And Seymour Johnson with 4 right there. So 1 for McIntyre and 4 for Seymour Johnson. That's going right to V. 1 for Atlantic City, right? Or was that McIntyre? Let's take a look. What was that? That was McIntyre. I was incorrect. It was not Atlantic City. That was McIntyre. We got to put these out correct, because if I put them in the wrong spots, it's going to skew the numbers. And I am, as I said, I do try to make sure this is accurate. Okay. Is that it for them? Yes, it is. Okay, so that is all of the aircraft for the Air Force. So on this, we have 3 squadrons. Okay. 3 squadrons. So this one's at 36. So we need to actually do the numbers on this. So as I said before, it's going to be 18 each. So let's do the numbers on that. And you guys can't see it, but I am actually using a calculator. 18 times 3 is 54. Okay, there's 3 squadrons there at Shaw, so that's 54. McIntyre has 2, so that's 36. Seymour Johnson has 5 of these. But let's do Andrews and Atlantic City first. because we know those. I mean, it's going to be 36 plus 54, so has anyone got that number in their head yet? 36 plus 54. Okay, so 0. That might be 100 aircraft right there. Just with that. Am I correct on that? 90. I was off. So and those were E's. Okay, so now that we have this, the ones that we are missing now are Oceana and MCAS Cherry Point. So let's take a look at these, and I'm going to look up MCAS Cherry Point. Marine Corps Air Station Cherry Point. All right, based units, Marine Corps. And I'm just going to look. Looks like they've got 3 squadrons of them, and I'm not going to count the training squadron. So it looks like they've got 3 squadrons of AV-8Bs. Times 54 aircraft. Got it. Okay, so now all we need is Naval Air Station Oceana. So let's go and get this. NAS Oceana. Okay. Tenant commands. All right, so now this is where it's strange. Only 2 of these can be in at any one time. Average. There has been a time where all 4 have been in, but I'm going to say that there's 2 of them. So based on that, we're just going to pick the 2 that I have seen on imagery that are in right now are going to be 1 and 3. So we're just going to be counting these out. So for 1, we have 1, 2, 3, and that's it. So there's 3 squadrons there. And then we're going to take a look at 3. And we're going to go in and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we've got 4 there. So there are 7 squadrons. All right. 7 times 14 equals 98 aircraft. Wait. Did I put in... No, I did the wrong number. Times 18. 126 aircraft. There we go. Okay, so we now have this. We're going to move this down. There we have our air bases that we're going to need for this. That is the air contingent from the Americans on this. And unlike the one from before, Canada cannot help with this one. They're just too far away, so NORAD's not going to be able to do anything with this, and nobody else, unless they have a carrier off of our shores, will be able to help us in this. So this one's going to be pretty much an American fight only. All right, now that we've got this, we need our new slide, and I'm going to start looking up. We've got to have 3 Chinese carriers coming over. So what are the names of the Chinese carriers? Chinese aircraft carriers. Well, I can already see the 3 names. Fujian, Shandong, and Liaoning. Okay, so let's put them in. Let's put in a title on this one. Chinese carriers. Fujian, Shandong, Liaoning. Okay, so we've got these 3. All right, let's take a look at the Fujian first. And based on Wikipedia, it's showing this. I'm going to just use the Wikipedia on this just because I want the numbers on it. Or at least what they think it has. Hangar deck, aviation facilities. No, I didn't want that. Typo of 3. So about 80,000 pounds. 80,000 tons. Let's see, does it have anything? Looks like they're going with the J-15. They're Kato bars. And they're saying we'll be using the PL-10 and PL-15s. So I'm going to give them... The other ones are around 30 or so. I'm going to say they're around 40 to 50, so why don't we go with a round number of maybe about 45. 45 J-15s with PL-10 and PL-15 missiles. Okay. Now let's look up the Shandong, which they had the names of all of them in here. I just saw them. Because they're named after provinces, Lian and Shandong, right here. So this is a modified Kuznetsov, I believe. Yeah, it's modified. So it's about the same size. And they're showing that it can have 32 of the J-15. All right, let's do that. Times 32 J-15s. And then there's the Liaoning, which honestly probably would not be used, but you've got to still put it in. And they're showing how many on that? 24 of the J-15. So let's put in the 24. And then I'm going to also put in the Russian carrier. And that is the Admiral Kuznetsov. The walking fire. Thing is caught on fire 4 times. I'm serious on this. Okay, Chinese aircraft carrier. We know it's the X-Varyag, so we know it's the Kuznetsov class. So let's just go up to... See if it has the part on it, which shows it as a Kuznetsov. No. Oh, interesting. It was built in Mykolaiv. It was built in the same place that the Slava classes were built. In Ukraine. They're Ukrainian, folks. I don't believe this one was, though. No, it was. All of them were. That is interesting. All of the Kuznetsov class were built in Ukraine. And according to this, it looks like 30 to 50 aircraft, but they are using the MiG-29Ks on this. That's the one that they're trying to use more and more of, is the MiG-29s. And there were reasons that they wanted to do it. Should be able to carry up to 33. And so I'm just going to add them. I'm going to say 32 of the MiG-29K. There we go. So, now that we've got this, we actually have pretty much the research as far as what the enemy contingent is going to be, what the American contingent is going to be, and now all I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to be prettying this up, and then soon I will be back on this and I will show you the finished product of what we've got. I'm just going to pretty this up so it looks really nice out here, but essentially the research part is now done. So why don't you just all sit there? It'll only look like a second for everybody else, but for me this is going to take a couple hours. So I will be right back. All right, and we have now returned, and as I said, this has taken me a little while. Um, got this whole thing all nice, and this is actually what I have sent Cap. So this is going to look what you're going to see when he does the research. He's probably going to show this. So we have here for U.S. air bases in distance from Norfolk, we have Oceana 8.5 miles, Langley 20, Joint Base Andrews 134, MCAS Cherry Point 140, Seymour Johnson Air Force Base 143 miles, Atlantic City is at 198 miles, Shaw Air Force Base at 313, and McEntire Joint National Guard Base is at 330. After I looked into it, it is indeed a Joint National Guard Base, so that's Army and Air Force that are there. So that's why it's a joint base. All right, so out of Oceana, we've got this first carrier air wing with FA-18Fs, one FA-18E, so that's the 18 aircraft each, so you see that one. Second carrier air wing with this and these, there's one F squadron and 3 E squadrons. And then I found this one. There is a strike fighter wing that is organic to the actual air station itself with another 24 aircraft. So we added that into the total. So that's how you're getting 150 aircraft for NAS Oceana. Langley, we have 3 squadrons of the F-22, each with 18 aircraft, total of 54. That is what you saw before. Joint Base Andrews Air Force Base, 2 F-16, either C or D squadrons, probably mostly Cs, each with 18 aircraft, 36. MCAS Cherry Point, 3 AV-8Bs, total of 54 aircraft. Then we go down to Seymour Johnson, 5 squadrons of F-15Es, 18 aircraft each, total of 90 of the F-15Es. Atlantic City, 2 F-16C squadrons, 36 aircraft. Shaw Air Force Base, 3 F-16C, total of 54. And then McEntire Air Force Base, 2 F-16C squadrons, each with 18 aircraft, a total of 36 aircraft. Now we go, and this is the actual layout of where all the bases are, and you can see them from the ones that are closest all the way to the ones that are furthest, where they're all at. Named McEntire, Shaw, Seymour Johnson, and MCAS Cherry Point, Naval Air Station Oceana, Langley, JV Andrews, and then Atlantic City Air National Guard Base. So as you can see, they are all here. Seymour Johnson's just right here. And again, there's the distances. Next, this is the ships that are home ported at Norfolk. 4 carrier strike groups are there, but 6 carriers total. 4 destroyer squadrons with 16 Arleigh Burkes total. 1 submarine squadron, that's 9 submarines that are out there. 6 Tycho cruisers and 4 LHDs. There's an assortment of other different ships out there, but these are the only ones that really would matter in this fight without being targets. Okay, so that's why they are here. And oh yeah, with so many ships, there are bound to be some entering or leaving port on any given day. And I've asked Cap to have 1 destroyer about to transit in and 1 transiting out for some realism with this. I don't know if he'll do anything with the carriers. Probably not. That usually takes time to have 1 out. And if they know that the that enemy carriers are out there, they're probably not going to sortie those 2 out. They're probably going to send another one back. So that's more than likely how they would do that. And as you can see here, we've got the Admiral Kuznetsov. Now that's actually a picture of the Liaoning, but it's the same ship class. They're both Kuznetsovs. This is just the sister of it, the Varyag. The only way you can tell it's not the Kuznetsov, there's not a lot of black smoke right here. And there's a picture of one of the MiG-29s. followed by these are the three. That's the Type 001, the Kuznetsov class carrier Liaoning, Shenyang J-15s, 24 aircraft. Then we have the modified Kuznetsov class carrier, which is the Shandong. They're showing 32 of the J-15s on this. Then you have the Type 003, the Fujian class carrier, and that is 50, I'm saying 50 is an estimated number for the J-15 on there. And of course, armed with all of these are going to be armed with the PL-10s and the PL-15s. So everybody, this has been how I do my research. This video hopefully will come out at about the same time as the as Cap's video does, but it should come out just after or probably about the same time. So I hope to see you all then. All of you that have come over here from Cap's video, please put in the comment below that you came from the Grim Reapers, and welcome to Combat Ineffective. We'll see you next time.